You are about to find out something that will turn everything you know about anxiety upside down. Something your doctors probably never told you. Something the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know why spread. Millions of people will stop depending on controlled medicines. In the next few minutes, you will understand why that anxiety that chases you every day, that tightening in the chest that appears out of nowhere, those accelerated thoughts that don't let you sleep, that constant fear that paralyzes your decisions may not be in your head. It may be in your intestine. And when you understand this connection, when you really understand what I will show you now, your life will never be the same. Because you will realize that you have the power to cure your anxiety without the need for medical prescription, without side effects, without chemical dependence. I know what you are thinking. How does my gut have something to do with the anxiety I feel in my chest, head, hands, that tremble before an important meeting? It looks crazy, right? But what if I tell you that scientists from the largest universities in the world have proved that 90% of your body's serotonin, that hormone of happiness that everyone speaks, is produced exactly where? In the gut. Not in the brain, in the gut. What's more, there is a nerve called vagus nerve that connects your intestine directly to your brain, sending signs all the time. When your gut is inflamed, full of bad bacteria, with the permeable intestinal wall, letting toxins leak into the blood, you know what happens. This nerve sends signs of danger to the brain, signs that trigger exactly the same symptoms as an anxiety attack. Accelerated heart, short breathing, catastrophic thoughts, feeling that something terrible will happen. Click now on the link fixed in the comments and download the digital ebook completely free. Have you ever stopped to notice that when you are nervous, anxious, or afraid, your belly reacts? That cold in the belly before speaking in public? That diarrhea that appears in times of stress? That knot in the stomach when you are worried? Your body already knows this connection. It shows you every day, but no one taught you how to pay attention to it. No one explained to you that this way works in both ways. When your mind is anxious, your gut suffers. And when your gut is sick, your mind collapses. It is a vicious cycle that holds you into an invisible imprisonment where you think the problem is psychological, emotional, weakness. It is lack of control. But in fact, it can be biological. It can be inflammation. It can be an imbalance in the intestinal flora that has kidnapped your peace of mind. Let me ask you a question that will mess with you. And if all these years you spent trying to control your anxiety with willpower, therapy, with breathing exercises, with medicines that leave you in a zombie state, were you treating the wrong place? What if the real problem has never been your ability to deal with stress, but trillions of bacteria in your intestine that are producing chemicals that leave your brain on a state of permanent alert? Think of the impact of it. Think about how many decisions you have failed to make, how many opportunities have you lost, how many relationships have you sabotaged, how many nights you spent clear because anxiety didn't leave you alone. What if all this could be different? Just taking care of your gut. Here is the naked and raw truth that will shock you. Recent studies show that people with chronic anxiety have a completely different intestinal microbiota composition from people without anxiety. They have fewer good bacteria, more pathogenic bacteria, more inflammation, more intestinal permeability. And when researchers transplanted the microbiota of people looking forward to healthy animals, guess what happened? The animals developed anxiety behaviors. And when they did the opposite, transplanting healthy microbiota to anxious animals, anxiety decreased dramatically. This is not theory. This is not achism. This is proven science that is completely changing the way we understand mental health. Now imagine having knowledge in your hands to reprogram your gut, rebalance these bacteria, reducing this inflammation that is sending signs of panic to your brain. Imagine waking up without that weight on your chest. Imagine being able to take a deep breath and feel peace for real. Imagine making decisions without that inner voice sabotaging you with catastrophic scenarios. Imagine sleeping all night without waking up 3 in the morning with your heart fired. This is not magical promise. It is the result of those who understand this powerful connection between bowel and anxiety and act on this knowledge. And that is exactly what you will learn now. Every detail, every mechanism, see from the practical action you can start today to release your mind from this anxiety cycle that begins in your sick intestine. Have you woken up with that feeling of swelling that does not pass, looked in the mirror and saw the skinless, tired, full of imperfections that did not exist before? Have you ever felt that as much as you try to feed well, the body just doesn't respond? What if I tell you that all this may be screaming a single problem you ignore every day? Your gut is asking for help and you haven't even noticed. In the next few minutes, you will discover 5 signals that your body sends when the intestine is sick. Habits you practice without knowing that they are destroying your health inside. And more importantly, what to do now to reverse it before you become much more serious. Let's go straight to business because your time is valuable and your health cannot wait. The first sign your intestine sends when they are sick is something that most people completely normalize. The constant tiredness that does not improve or after sleeping 8 hours. You wake up exhausted, spend the day fighting sleep, drink coffee behind coffee, and yet it seems that you are carrying an invisible weight. Do you know why? Because 80% of your serotonin, the hormone that regulates your mood and energy, is produced in the intestine. When the intestinal flora is unbalanced, when there is chronic inflammation on the intestine walls, the production of this neurotransmitter plummets. Your brain does not receive the fuel you need, and you live in survival mode, dragging on your life without understanding why. But it's not just laziness, it's not a lack of willpower. It is pure biology. Your gut is so inflamed, so full of bad bacteria and toxins that it can no longer do the basic work to nourish your body. Click now on the link set in the comments and download the digital ebook totally free. The second sign appears on your skin, and many people spend fortunes on expensive creams without realizing that the problem is in the gut. Persistent acne, rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, that dull, opaque skin that ages too fast. Science has already proved the intestine-pell connection, and it is real. When your gut is permeable, full of toxins that leak into the bloodstream, your body goes into inflammatory alert. And where does this inflammation appear? On the skin. Its greatest elimination body is trying to expel the garbage that the intestine has not been able to sew. Each pimple, every stain, every irritation is a cry of help. You can pass all the acids in the world on your face, but if you don't take care of the gut, you will continue to fight the same problems forever. Now pay attention to the third sign, because this one is scary. Explicable mood changes, anxiety that appears out of nowhere, depression you can't justify. Have you ever wondered why you call that bad feeling in your belly? Because the gut and the brain talk all the time through the vagus nerve. Scientists call the gut a second brain and is not metaphor. When the intestinal microbiota is messy, when pathogenic bacteria dominate the environment, they produce toxic byproducts that directly affect their brain chemistry. You start to have anxiety crises, extreme irritability, negative loop thoughts, and there he goes to the psychiatrist, takes medicine for anxiety, does therapy, but no one looks at the gut. No one investigates whether the real problem is there in that silent inflammation that has kidnapped their emotional well-being. If you are enjoying this information and realizing that you need to take better care of your gut, click the like button now, because it helps more people to have access to this content that can literally change lives. The fourth signal is so common that it became a joke. Gases, abdominal swelling, that belly that looks like an airball at the end of the day, eating little. You avoid tight clothes, feel uncomfortable in meetings, live in fear of embarrassing. But this is not normal. No matter what they told you, it is not normal to live stuffed. When the gut is sick, digestion becomes a battlefield. Foods that should be broken and absorbed are fermented, feeding bad bacteria that produce excess gases. The intestinal wall is inflamed and permeable, allowing non-digested food particles to enter the bloodstream and shoot immunological reactions. You develop food sensitivities that you didn't have before. Gluten, lactose, sugar, it all starts to cause a problem. And it's not because these foods are villains. It is because your gut is so damaged that you can no longer process anything right. And we come to the fifth sign that closes the vicious cycle. Immunity problems. You get every cold. Infections always come back. Allergies get worse. Your body seems to have lost the ability to and defend. It makes full sense when you understand that 70% of your immune system is in the gut. When the intestinal mucosa is inflamed, when the protective barrier is broken, its immune system is deregulated. He begins to attack what he should not and ignores what he should fight. You get vulnerable, sick, weak, and then it enters that antibiotic cycle that further kills its good bacteria, worsens dysbiosis, increases inflammation, and makes you even sick, but calm that the situation is not desperate. Now that you know the signs, you need to understand the habits that are causing it all. And the first killer habit of the intestine is something you probably do every day. Eating too fast, chewing little, swallowing the almost entire food. Digestion begins in the mouth. When you chew well, it produces saliva full of enzymes that begin to break food. When you swallow everything running, the stomach and intestine need to work 10 times more to process that poorly chewed mass. The result? Fermentation, gases, nutrient malabsorption, digestive system overload. It seems too simple to be true, but chewing slowly and consciously can completely change your intestinal health. The second destructive habit is the abuse of ultra-processed foods. Those practical packages, ready food, fast food, soft drinks, industrialized sweets. These products are not real food. They are chemical combinations of sugar, bad fat, sodium, preservatives, dyes, and additives that their good bacteria do not recognize as food. Do you know who loves these ingredients? The pathogenic bacteria. They multiply uncontrollably, dominate their gut, cause chronic inflammation, and destroy the intestinal wall. Each time you choose an ultra-processed food instead of real food, you are literally feeding the disease within you. The third habit that is killing its intestines silently is the unmanaged chronic stress. You live running, worried, anxious, sleeping badly, with no time to relax. What does this have to do with bowel? All. When you are stressed, your body goes into fighting or escape mode. All energy goes to the muscles and the brain, and the digestive system is turned off. The production of digestive enzymes falls. Blood flow to the intestine decreases. Intestinal motility is too slow or too accelerated. You eat with the activated sympathetic nervous system, and the body simply cannot digest right. In addition, high cortisol increases intestinal permeability, worsens dysbiosis, and feeds inflammation. There is no intestinal health without stress management. It is impossible. If you are starting to connect the points and realize that many of these habits are part of your routine, share this video now with someone who also needs to hear this, because knowledge that is not shared does not turn lives. The fourth habit that no one tells you is the indiscriminate use of medicines, especially antacid, anti-inflammatory, and antibiotics. That little heartburn you take after eating too much, it reduces stomach acid that is essential to digest proteins and killing bad bacteria. Anti-inflammatory drugs directly damage the intestinal mucosa. And antibiotics, they are atomic bombs that kill good and bad bacteria without distinction, leaving an open field for opportunistic pathogens to settle in. Each time you take antibiotics without real need, without replacing it with quality probiotics, you are causing a damage that may take months or years to revert. And the fifth habit that closes this deadly list is the lack of fiber and fermented foods in the diet. Its good bacteria feed on fiber. No fiber, they starve. Simple as that. Fermented foods such as kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut, kimchi are natural sources of probiotics that repose their gut with good soldiers. But the modern diet is poor in fiber and has virtually no fermented. The result? A sterile gut, dominated by bad bacteria, unable to do his work. Now comes the most important part: how to solve this. How do you rebuild a sick gut and have energy, beautiful skin, stable humor, strong immunity, and perfect digestion? First, you need to eliminate inflammatory triggers. Cuts or drastically reduces refined sugar, white flours, refined vegetable oils, ultra-processed foods. This is not radicalism, it is necessity. You cannot heal an inflamed gut if it continues to set it on fire every day. Step second, introduce cure foods. Bone broth is liquid gold for the intestinal mucosa because it is rich in collagen and glutamine that regenerate the cells of the intestine wall. Varied vegetables, especially those rich in prebiotic fibers such as garlic, onion, asparagus, artichoke, feed their bacteria the good ones. Fermented foods reintroduce natural probiotics. Good fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado, chestnuts fight inflammation. Quality proteins provide amino acids to rebuild tissues. It doesn't have to be complicated. Real food, fondly prepared, chewed calmly. Step third, intelligent supplementation when necessary. Probiotics of multiple strains, glutamine powder, digestive enzymes, omega-3, zinc, vitamin D. But beware, supplement does not replace food or miracle if you continue with destructive habits. It is support, not magic solution. Step fourth, manage stress in a non-negotiable way. Meditation, deep breathing, nature walks, quality sleep, moments of leisure. Your gut will not heal if you live in emergency mode. The parasympathetic nervous system needs to be active for digestion and regeneration. This is not luxury, it is basic biology. And fifth step, patience and consistency. Your gut has not been sick overnight and will not heal in a week. It may take months of correct habits to restore microbiota, regenerate the mucosa, balance the immune system. But every day you choose to take care of your gut is a day closer to the healthier, energetic, and happy version of you. Look, if you have come this far, it is because you really care about your health and are willing to do differently. So now, click on the subscribe button. Why all content here is made to give you quality information that really transforms health without rolling. Click now on the link set in the comments and download the digital ebook completely free. The truth no one wants to admit is that you have more control over your health than you think. Doctors, medicines, exams are important, but nothing replaces the daily responsibility to feed your body with what it needs and not what the industry wants to sell. Your gut is the foundation of everything. When it is healthy, everyone else flows. Energy comes back, skin shines, mood stabilizes, weight regulates, immunity strengthens. But when he is sick, no matter how many medicines you take or aesthetic treatments you do, the body will continue to signal that something is deeply wrong. Think to me, how many people do you know that you live tired, swollen, with troubled skin, unstable mood, cold handles, and think this is normal? What is just part of aging or having a busy life? This is not normal. It is the new normal of a society that eats poison disguised as food, lives stressed without breaks, and treats symptoms without ever investigating causes. You don't have to accept it. You can choose different. You can choose to investigate, understand, act. Each meal is an opportunity to cure or ignite. Each moment of stress is a chance to take a deep breath and calm the nervous system or let cortisol flood your body. Each night is a decision between sleeping well and allowing regeneration or stealing the time it needs to fix. Health is not luck. It is daily construction. It is conscious choice and starts in the gut. Now tell me one thing. Will you keep ignoring these signs your body rules, or will finally make the decision to take care of your real gut? Because the information you already have, only the action is missing. And action is what separates those who live with energy and health from those who live only surviving. So now click on the screen and watch the next video where I will show you exactly what to eat for breakfast to regenerate your gut from the first meal of the day. Information without action is just entertainment. Do you want entertainment or transformation? The choice is yours. Click now and go together on this journey of reconstruction of your health from the inside out. I hope you're there.